Well, on today's exclusive, Nigeria is the gateway to Africa, not Ghana. Nigeria is the gateway to Africa and not Ghana. Okay, family, welcome to another edition right here on TJ Studios. Let's have some content right here on this channel today, and I'm here to serve you, as usual, with spanking new content. Well, I have a sort of an educative topic, but I would also want to enlighten all and sundry about this particular topic. All right, so there's been this usual norm around Africa, and then especially in Ghana, that in terms of a context, Ghana is the gateway to Africa. Well, on today's exclusive, Nigeria is the gateway to Africa, not Ghana. Nigeria is the gateway to Africa and not Ghana. I am here to state categorically clear that Nigeria is the gateway to Africa and not Ghana. And I'm going to expound on 3 reasons why I think Nigeria is the gateway to Africa and not that of Ghana. All right, before I do that, you can feel free to share your opinion in line with today's exclusive, and also don't forget to share your thoughts with me in the comment section. Let's do this together. Also, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button. It's going to enable you to get notified whenever I share any new video. All right, share your thoughts. If you disagree with me, it's humbly welcome. All right, before I do that, let's go for this quick commercial break. We'll be right back to expound on it a lot more. Okay, welcome back, family. Welcome back, guys. Let's do this. Like I said, Nigeria is the gateway to Africa and not Ghana. I know some people would disagree with me, sorry, especially people from my country, but let's face the fact, okay? I am here to face the fact. You see, one thing I've been doing on this channel, and there's been times I've shared content or I've done topics where people on the other side do not agree with me as well. Why? Because I face the fact, all right? And in such context where you put together an educative, podcast, others will have, few, details of disagreement in line with what you will share, all right? I don't want to be biased. Whoever is doing the most, I will be here. I'll discuss. I'll give you the shout outs and the accolades that's deserved of you. All right. Whoever is not doing it right will be here. We'll share our opinion like it's done in a democratic dispensation. All right. It is up to you to take it or not. All right. Now, why am I saying this? We've been touting ourselves, Ghana, as the gateway to Africa all this while. All right, we've been touting ourselves with that. Geographically, yes, Ghana is the gateway to Africa. Because if you look at the African map and you note where Ghana is, you can decide to agree with the fact that Ghana is just about in the middle of the African map. All right, in line with the Gulf of Guinea. All right, the sea that leads, other ships and then sailors to our belt or to our coast. All right, so you can agree with that. All right, that basically our country is in the middle of Africa. As such, we can call it, a gateway geographically. All right, but in line with achievements and then how Africa is being sold, positively out there. All right, it's Nigerians and they are the gateway to Africa. Why am I saying this? Now, I put together 3 reasons why Nigerians are the gateway to Africa, not geographically, but in line with achievements and how Africa is being sold positively out there. All right, so 3 reasons. Now you can also add your reasons to it. All right, but I feel these are the 3 main reasons why Nigeria is the gateway to Africa and not Ghana. Like I said, geographically, yes, but in terms of selling out Africa out there positively, Nigerians are the gateway to Africa. Now let's look at point number 1, their sense of originality. All right, Nigerians are not faking another country's accent. Nigerians are not faking another country's originality to be their own. All right, in terms of language, they have their own accent and it's working for them. It makes them unique. It stands out. You can basically depict who a Nigerian is as soon as he begins to speak. You can clearly see that this person is a Nigerian. All right. It boils down to the fact that their sense of originality also falls within their language, their tone, and their accent. Also within their music industry, all right, they are able, or they have been able to put together a genre that is their own, and they are not copying other people's genre. They are not trying to sound or slang like Americans. They are not trying to speak English like Americans, so which I've said in line with, you know, the language factor. Now, when you look at their sense of originality of creating their own, all right, genre, all right, they have their own genre, which is out there, basically Afrobeat, which is working for them and working for the Nigerian music space. So they are using music as a tool to sell themselves out there, and the sense of that music quotation comes up with their, you know, originality. So their sense of originality, all right, is being put to bear in their music, all right, in their music industry as well, and their music, you know, videos, whatever, music, audios, music, you know, dispensation out there. So when it comes to their sense of originality, they have it, all right. So let's move on to point number 2. I'm not going to linger on this editorial. It's going to be brief, all right. Export of music, movies, and culture, all right. 3 reasons, if you just tune in, we are dealing with 3 reasons why Nigerians are the gateway to Africa and not Ghana. In terms of geography, yes, all right. Export of movies, music, and culture. They are able to export music in their own context, movies in their own context, and they are not copying, all right. And then their culture. Now, if you reference Nigerian music videos, their movies, wherever, you find their sense of culture in there. They do not throw away their culture. They do not throw away their norms and values. They do not try to stand out to try to be like an American, which is not their, you know, original source. So number 1 being their sense of originality. The sense of originality is, you know, felt within whatever they put out there, be it movies, music, all right, and they depict their culture in there, all right. When you look at the last time I shared it, all right, in another podcast where I said when you look at their music videos, whatever, they try as much to probably portray their culture in it. They do not trade away their culture, trying to dress like Americans, trying to dress like this person, in as much as even if they would, they will blend it up with their culture. So number 2 is the export of music and movies and culture as well. They export it, all right, not only within the African environs, all right. Nigerian culture, music, and movies has been exported out there and has been felt in the international space. So you can easily identify a Nigerian if he decides to wear his cultural apparel, all right. You can easily identify that this is a Nigerian culture, all right. Okay, the last point, biggest export of players, all right. FIFA themselves, all right, has outlined the fact that Nigeria is the biggest export of players in Africa. I mean, from Nigeria to the world. They are the biggest country with the players exportation to the outside world, all right. It is no mere fluke that you have Nigerian players scattered all over. Let's even put aside players who are born within the diaspora, because they are bigger and they have a largest, you know, population in Africa. You get it. It has aided them to be able to export, and you can't just export rubbish. The fact that they are bigger in terms of that does not mean that they export rubbish, all right. It means that all the players that go out there are quality players as such. Their presence are felt, whether it's in Eastern Europe, main Europe, wherever they find themselves, they go out there and make meaning. As such, when the Super Eagles final squad of Super Eagles is being named, you find people, a lot of people who disagree with the squad will say, why didn't you call this player? Because they have majority of players scattered all over Europe and other environs of Europe, all right. So they do not only export music, they do not only export, you know, movies, their culture. They do not only export their sense of originality, they are also the biggest export of players in the whole of Africa, All right, guys. So this and many more comes to explain the fact that Nigeria is dominant. I shouldn't be saying this. All right. I can't come here and say Ghana is dominant because I'm a Ghanaian. Africa, it is high time we begin to think like Kwame Nkrumah. All right. It's high time we begin to think like some of our previous leaders who wanted the betterment of Africa as a whole, who wanted the unity of Africans. We cannot see white and say it's blue because I cannot say because I'm a Zambian, I will say my artists are bigger than Nigerians. I cannot say in any way because I'm an Ivorian, my artists are bigger than Nigerians. If we are able to give due respect to whom honor is due, then we can move along with them and also thrive within that same, region. Okay, guys. So if I am here as a Ghanaian and I see, facts and figures and I decide to twist them, all right, then automatically I am telling the outside world that I am a witch in my own coven. You get it? Then we were touting ourselves with the fact that Ghana is the gateway to Africa. Oh, Ghana has cocoa. Ghana has timber. Ghana has this. All right? Okay? Every other country in Africa has its own natural resources. Okay, guys? But let's look at the biggest export of our culture and other endeavors that is portraying Africa, that is, being showcased to the world, that is basically portraying Africa, all right, to a much more wider perspective or to the utmost height Africa deserves, then you cannot do away with Nigerians. They are the gateway to Africa. Trust me, they are the gateway to Africa. Sense of originality, export of music, movies, and their culture, all right, and the biggest export of players in Africa. I know there are more. I know we can talk about plenty of them. But to me, I feel these are the three major reasons why they are the gateway to Africa. Let's accord them with the needed respect. And I've said this on this channel. If we have 90% of Africans thinking like myself, all right, who believe in the unity of Africa as such, when we see an African, listen, I'm not saying a Zambian, neither am I mentioning any tribe, an African winning, then we can all hop in, or we can all hop onto it, all right, onto that endeavor and then push it for Africa to thrive. And that has been it. We can't be saying that because I'm a Zambian, I want to close my eyes and force myself to say Zambian artists are the best in the world, not Nigerian artists. And that will come back to that crabology spirit, the black crabology spirit, which I've been saying. We want to cripple us and pull each other down, which is going to work, not going to work in any way. They are the gateway to Africa. What are the rest doing to add up to the fold? What are the rest bringing on board? All right? What are you good at? Bring it on board. And let's all thrive together. If they can do it 80% and the whole of Africa can add 20% of their talents in whatsoever they are good at to propel us together, then we are good to go. It means that we can break boundaries and break barriers. The very day Africa will unite as one piece and push one common agenda, will become a fear factor that the Western world will need to come back and learn from us, because they came and used us to build their country. They came here and used everything about us to build their country. It is up to us to also show them that we've come of age. All right? All right? The kind of segregative spirit they left in us, thinking that Africans, we can't do it. One particular country has stood up to be the gateway to Africa, and we have to follow suit. If they are propelling Africa in a 70% degree level, then we can all come together and add our 30 or 40% to add up and then push it. All right? Okay, guys, we can't say they are good at this, so they bore us. So the best thing we can do is to pull them down and then we will rise to the top. No, that is not the African mindset. That is not who we were in the past. Let's rally behind our brothers and push Africa as a whole. Let's have the Kwame Nkrumah mindset. Let's have the united mindset and push Africa together. Let's, have that love. All right? Show that love to our African brothers when we see them winning. it's going to come a long way to pushing Africa as a whole. Shout outs to Nigeria for being the gateway to Africa. Big ups to you. All right, guys, and it's time to go. If you agree with me on today's editorial, do well to share your thoughts with me. All right, subscribe to the channel as well, and also don't forget to hit the notification button, which is going to enable you to get notified whenever I post any new video. It is time to go. You can call me TJ, you can call me Emeka, you can call me Chukwu Emeka, you can call me Emeka Friday. I salute you. See you same time.